Though we are some months away from seeing one in use, the iPhone 17 Pro Max is on its way. Although the iPhone 17 Pro Max could easily knock off its perch with many updates and enhancements, the iPhone 16 Pro Max may be among the greatest phones you can now purchase. Though we still have a lot to learn about the iPhone 17 Pro Max, we have heard various speculations suggesting major events might arise. Should such reports be taken at their value, 2025 might also witness the first significant iPhone redesign since the iPhone 11 from 2019, with improvements to the phone's display and lifetime. Sadly, at this early level it remains impossible to separate the truth from the garbage. With the months running by and the actual debut day of the iPhone 17 Pro Max approaching, maybe that will change. Here is what we know so far on the iPhone 17 Pro Max till then. With one analyst speculating that the whole iPhone 17 series might become more costly after the iPhone 16 apparently evaded a price increase by the skin of its teeth. Pricing could be a sensitive topic with the iPhone 17 Pro Max. The Pro Max model has seen notable price increases, whereas other iPhone models have not seen any over years. Apple nixed the 128 gigs iPhone 15 Pro Max, instead settling for 256 gigs of basic storage. While the 256 gigs 15 Pro Max was the same price as the 256 gigs iPhone 14 Pro Max, it still meant the price of entry was $100 greater that year, a pattern that Apple repeated with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. While we don't know if a price raise will happen or whether it will influence the iPhone 17 Pro Max, we shouldn't be shocked if the phone does cost more than the $1,199 iPhone 16 Pro Max price tag. While we don't know precisely when Apple will release the iPhone 17 Pro Max, it normally keeps to the same release timetable annually. Typically, Apple introduces new iPhones around the first or second week of September, with pre-orders commencing later that week. Release day normally follows a week later. While we don't know whether Apple will follow to this plan again, precedent tells us that we should predict the iPhone 17 Pro Max release date to arrive somewhere around the end of September 2025. We're not anticipating any huge changes with the iPhone 17 Pro Max display, but that's not to say we may not see some things alter with the following iteration. One report indicates that the phone might arrive with a thinner dynamic island, owing to the presence of new, smaller components. Leaker Digital Chat Station explicitly calls for a smaller dynamic island for the iPhone 17 Pro Max with the assistance of a metal lens design for Face ID. As for the design of the iPhone 17 Pro Max, things are a bit hazy. Rumors say that Apple may be changing the rear of the phone this year, with one set of renderings indicating that we may see a two-tone design similar to the one featured on Google's Pixel 9. Another set of renderings from famed Apple leaker Sonny Dixon shows off a similar layout, as do claimed CAD files previously shared by Dixon. In these renderings, the iPhone 17 Pro Max maintaining the same triangle camera layout as previously, but pushing the LED flash, microphone, and LiDAR scanner over to the other side. That fundamental design looks to have been validated by more renderings from Majinbu, and if believed, it might be the start of the most diversified iPhone design lineup as yet. It's also anticipated that the camera module might relocate from the left-hand side of the phone and into the center owing to this modification, or at least cover the full width of the phone. There are a lot of differences among leakers as to which particular set of renderings are authentic. There's also been some dispute among leakers as to whether the iPhone 17 Pro Max would feature a titanium frame this year. But last we heard, it was still occurring, which makes sense. It would be strange for Apple to make such a huge deal over titanium just to discard it 2 years later. Apple's Series CPUs are among the finest mobile chips today, and each version has given much higher performance than its predecessor. We anticipate that tendency to continue with the A19 Pro chipset, which should appear on iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max later in the year. While there had been reports that Apple may move to a 2nm technology, which would make the A19 Pro even smaller than the 3nm A18 Pro, that shift presumably won't happen until the debut of the iPhone 18 at the earliest. This implies we'll be seeing 3nm devices until at least 2026, probably longer, depending on how development proceeds. Instead, A19 series chips are now scheduled to be built utilizing an enhanced version of TSMC's 3nm technology. This should bring gains to performance and energy efficiency relative to the A18 series, although not to the same degree that adopting a 2-nanometer technology would. However, any gain to energy efficiency could imply an even better battery than we've previously witnessed on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. The greater performance may imply a hotter running processor, but happily it appears Apple's thought of that. A vapor chamber cooling mechanism, which employs liquid within a copper pipe to transport heat away from a device's most vital components, might be included to the iPhone 17 Pro versions, potentially eliminating the issue. Finally, Jeff Pugh and Ming-Chi Kuo both anticipate that Apple might incorporate 12 gigs of RAM in the iPhone 17 Pro Max. That's a 50% improvement compared to the iPhone 16 series, and would presumably be so that Apple can deliver even more on-device AI in future versions of Apple Intelligence. The iPhone 17 Pro Max presumably won't have the C1 modem that Apple debuted with the iPhone 16e, unlike the iPhone 17 Air. But its Wi-Fi chip will be a new type manufactured by Apple, a fresh first for the iPhone's networking. Those of you weary of Apple skimping on the camera resolution will be extremely thrilled with iPhone 17 Pro Max speculations so far. According to one leaker, Apple may boost the resolution of the telephoto lens to 48 megapixels in 2025, meaning we might see a triple of 48 megapixels lenses on the phone for the first time. The front camera may also be due to receive a similar boost, but the resolution may peak out at 24 megapixels, according to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo. The information believes that we may witness the first variable aperture lens on an iPhone, but it's unclear how much control consumers will have over the aperture and the resultant depth of field. Rumors also claim that Apple might delete the square camera module seen on iPhones since the launching of the iPhone 11. According to some leakers, this may lead to Apple introducing a horizontal camera bar similar to the Pixel 9 Pro, with some even displaying mock-ups of what this may look like. There isn't much detail on this right now, however, and it's unclear how spatial video would function if the main and ultra-wide lenses aren't stacked vertically. Mark Gurman has also predicted that Apple might especially attract filmmakers and content producers with iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. While he didn't specify what type of changes to anticipate, we will likely see a combination of hardware and software upgrades coming with this year's Pro-tier iPhones. We haven't heard much about the iPhone 17 Pro Max's battery right now, but if the chip's claimed efficiency enhancements prove to be genuine, then we should see the battery life last much longer. Considering the iPhone 16 Pro Max lasted over 17.5 hours in our tests, it would be a rather stunning sight to see. We've also heard reports that Apple might make iPhone 17 batteries simpler to remove, owing to a new form of adhesive. It's probable that this is the same ionic liquid battery adhesive used on iPhone 17, which enables repair personnel to remove the battery with a few volts of electricity. That makes it a lot simpler to remove than prior adhesive strips, which were cumbersome and frequently needed solvents to properly remove. Rumor has claimed that Apple may be creating its own batteries, preparing to launch them on iPhone 17s. While we don't know many information regarding this development, it's reported that Apple plans to give significantly improved performance compared to the existing one, which you'd anticipate since the last thing we want is for battery life to go worse. But that's still a fantastic thing if Apple can pull it off. In addition to new or Apple-made batteries, a rumor indicates that Apple could offer reverse charging to the Pro variants of the iPhone 17. Reverse charging allows your phone charge other devices, mainly headphones like the AirPods 4. The new function would theoretically allow 7.5 charging. However, it's unclear whether Apple will strive to match the currently existent version on Samsung's Galaxy series. It's still quite early in the iPhone 17 Pro Max rumor cycle, so there's a heck of a lot we still don't know about the phone. That said, what we've heard so far is really fascinating. Upping the resolution of the telephoto lens is surely a nice thing, even if the tetraprism zoom is locked at 5x magnification for another year. Likewise, the ability to remove batteries more readily will be important should you ever need to take advantage of it. I'm unclear about the prospective design modifications, and I'd be astonished if Apple dropped the recognized square-shaped camera configuration. However, I like the Pixel design, and it would be fascinating to see how Apple can continue making their phones stand apart, especially with so many leakers stating that the new style will be occurring. Taking a look back at this week's news and headlines from Apple, including reported iPhone 17 Pro specifications, a new name for iPhone, secrets of the next iPad, iPhone 16e queries, MacBook Air reviews, iOS UI upgrade plans, and the harmful nature of Apple Intelligence. Apple Loop is here to remind you of a handful of the numerous talks about Apple in the previous 7 days. Apple has already changed up its portfolio by removing the iPhone SE name, instead integrating it into the main product line with the more costly iPhone 16e. Is there a larger shift in the air when the iPhone 17 launches? With talks of iPhones that are smaller, bigger, and more powerful, Ryan Christoffel advises a complete sweep of brand names. iPhone 17 would be the normal entry model. It would have the newest features at the lowest price. iPhone 17 Air would trade more cameras, power, and battery life for a thinner, ultra-thin design. iPhone 17 Pro would sport the more powerful A19 Pro processor, 3 back cameras, and other Pro features. And lastly, the iPhone 17 Ultra would provide by far the greatest battery life in the range, and the best display owing to a smaller dynamic island. It would be a hefty model for users who just want the most possible iPhone. Several months remain before the iPhone 17 series is set to arrive, though, so things may change between now and then. We'll have to be patient and see what future leaks and rumors have in store. So, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more tech news. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.